We're back. More metaphor. It's the 3rd of November. And it's a stream session, I want to say 9, is that right? I think it's stream session 9. Let me quickly check. Yes, stream session 9 of Metaphor. So we got a big next few days ahead of us.
Capital, everyone's here.
We're going to be doing like all the side quests.
Now then.
Now, how far do I run there then? Okay. So the route that I've got in my head that lets us touch everything is we go to Inundo,
We'll face danger.
then the Tomb of Levant, then up to the Forsaken Tower,
Really?
then back to Glacier
That's where you
Forest.
want to go?
And that will let us get everything. Now, I don't know exactly how this works.
And right there's a labyrinth.
Do I just like...
A village.
I think I just travel to Inundo and then it'll let me keep
I think
going.
we have a favor to do there.
Someone wanted a tool for cleaning teeth, yes? One of the stranger requests we've gotten, but I suppose the reward is worth it.
It's your call.
We should get there by midday. Can we make it back by tonight? But of course, so long as you don't dilly-dally, that is. Let's go.
Let's be off.
Then 'tis settled. It will behoove us all to prepare ourselves, even whilst on the road. Here we go. So we're going to be clearing 3 side dungeons.
What to pick?
Ooh, I hear a
The
voice.
truth is,
There's something I must tell the captain. Heisme comes to mind. Is Heisme the only person I can talk to? We can talk to Hulkenberg or Heisme. Who's got something better? I think it's the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. We'll go talk to Heisme, because I kind of like Heisme more.
the truth is,
Yeah, let's go talk. And we do have some books to read as well, which we can do when we're not bonding with people.
it's you.
It's you. Once we get our more pressing goals out of the way, I won't be so sure what to do with myself. If you're free, might I have a moment of your time? I wish to clear up a misunderstanding. I'd like to let you tell me about the village. Okay.
Yes.
Then let us speak over a drink. I'll serve you something, assuming you prefer a drink more tame than my usuals. What happened back in my hometown? You should know it wasn't Tadari's fault, even if he's the village elder. The villagers have always ostracized others like that, even when I was there. It's not their leader's fault. Is that why you left?
Because
Yes.
Yes, there was an incident, one final push I could not take.
Now,
Most other tribes hold little love for the Ujif, but in my youth we lived near 2 settlements of mixed peoples. We traded, traveled, relations were good. Until one day, conflict arose between the 2 settlements themselves. They began to feud, and both sides asked that our village side with them over the other. They wanted a decision from us. We were asked to choose who was friend and who was foe.
however,
Yet the village put off the decision. They took no sides and sought to appease both settlements. While we stayed the course of our hesitancy, the dispute was resolved. So what happened?
hold on.
and then
The village lost the trust of both sides, and they cut off all their trade. We were suddenly left impoverished. They called us Ujif inscrutable, unknowable, and their prejudice only escalated. It even led to some violence, and yet... The village tried to justify their predicament by saying there was nothing they could have done. They took no action to escape poverty and isolation beyond their bitter lamentations. That more than anything else disgusted me beyond words. I abandoned the village and ventured out to become a knight of the cities. But Tadari remained to take a stand, while I simply ran away. He took a role of leadership, determined to bring honorable change to our village. You're honorable too, Heisme.
Listen,
I who did nothing but run away? There's a world of difference between me and Tadari. And yet, as we've seen, the village is still a long way from the change he strove for. The villagers are rigid in their mindset. They hope to maintain the little control they have by excluding and blaming strangers. All the backbiting, even the theft of the urn, all born of this clinging to separation, xenophobic nest. I pity them. A fair enough assessment. In some ways they've entrapped themselves, but you know, when I returned there, a thought struck me. I suddenly knew I would like to let my son sleep on that hill, where the sweet winds blow, that they may run free where he cannot. And yet, perhaps the reason I'm so attached to my village is because I'm the same as them at heart. It was my indecisiveness that cost me my son, and my knighthood besides. This burial is no different. To think I waxed on about time to face his death, an excuse, nothing more. An excuse to run from yet another decision. No one could condemn
No.
you.
I...
But now my son is the one paying for my wretched hesitance. And see what has become of him. How could I call myself a father? Regret alone won't solve this.
No.
No, I refuse to let this end here.
Right.
If hesitation is in my nature, then so too do I hesitate to let go. Perhaps this is simply who I am. Kaz, I've had a confession to make. When the urn was stolen, somewhere in the back of my mind, I felt relief. Because I'd not have to see it anymore. I'd no longer be reminded of his death, his heartbreaking absence. I don't want to think of it. I don't want to face it. How could I, when every reminder shatters me? That's why I've put off the burial, longer and ever longer. But I must change. I will show my boys that I am a father worth his love, not his shame.
Surely.
And so too will I prove this to you. You who placed your trust in me. I can feel Heisman's fatherly determination and his deep trust in me. There we go, rank 5.
My son, come back to me. I'm sorry.
I will soon depart for the village to look for my son's remains. My apologies for all you've been made to endure. I'm coming with you.
Thank you.
I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Let's head to the village together at a later date. Oh.
It's coming our way!
Oi, a monster with the most peculiar color-changing eyes is clinging to the deck. Deal with it before it ruins all the hard work I put into this runner. We better get rid of it fast before Nurse puts our entire journey on hold to buff out any scratches or dents. We cannot allow that beast to make its way into the runner. To the deck, with haste. Color-changing eyes. Oh.
Might not just barging in on us.
Like you, I think. Let's have a spot of inventive ingenuity.
To the rear, forward. Eat. There's I need distance. Now accept your fate. One left.
Shit, okay, that was a lot of damage.
Flare! You're here?
Only
No.
one left.
No holding back!
We're clear.
Okay, that was easy. I got an achievement, defeat 10 Alamanders.
Four enemies. Brace
Oh,
yourself.
bees.
Four left.
Let us clean up.
Don't let
I'll
up.
use what I must.
Oh, they're more like wasps than bees, but...
Next to ever greater
Forward,
heights.
royal soul! Just two
Run
left!
for the captain.
Not bad.
Let's keep it going.
Come. We're gonna die
Why are
hard!
those like such low-level enemies?
Justice prevail!
Rosenberg got them right
Be
in their weak
neither
spot.
timid. Hang up, plus one.
They had
Excellent
no
job.
Very
time to
finishing.
hide.
Nice. Weird. Lot of mag, lot of money.
I chose the wrong opponent.
Satisfactory.
Hey, and
You've
Hulkenberg
never
got a
known
level.
such heights.
The village of Inundo, a small settlement located north of Brylehaven, lies ahead. The industry that once thrived here fell into decline, and now the able-bodied youth dream instead of leaving home. A small population of mostly children and elders remain, and visitors are scarce. The gauntlet runner slows to a stop.
It's like the story of a lot of villages, though, I feel like. Small towns. Ooh. Almost looks like,
Just a moment.
I don't even know how to describe this town. Oi, what's the meaning of this? It's practically a ghost town here. The villages around here are all like this. Those able to work have gone elsewhere to try and make a living, while the remaining residents live in constant fear of monsters. What a shame. It was my intention to cook something interesting if I came across unusual ingredients here. That's alright, I think I prefer food that's not overly interesting.
Hey,
It's a bit small, but it looks like they set up a stall here. Want to talk to them?
that reminds me.
By the way, weren't you asked to buy a toothbrush of Hygienia? Let's see if the store has it. Oh. Okay, toothbrush we'll definitely buy. I mean, I guess we'll buy all this stuff. I know it's a bit of a waste, but there could be some good stuff here.
Now then.
So if we appraise all that stuff, there might be something really good there.
Alright.
Okay, we got what we came for. Are we all finished here? Let's continue our trip.
Now then.
Now, how far do I run then?
Tis something there. We could fulfill a request there.
Our task is to defeat the monster and retrieve the Chalice of Legends, yes? Tombs and treasures certainly seem to go hand in hand. We may be in for quite a haul here.
You seem interested.
I'm not keen on robbing graves, but it does help fund our endeavors. So long as we don't overdo it, the spirits will understand.
Yeah, but
Here, the weather report seems bad there today. We might hit delays, so maybe we should get our fortune
it's your
told.
call.
We'll have to camp for the night, but we could get there tomorrow. In that case, care to head out straight away? Let's go. For heaven's sake, if we still have a long road ahead of us, then let everyone rest up. The future is anything but certain.
As the sky turns the same muddy color as the land below, the Gauntlet Runner arrives in a quiet land. However, confidence would be ill-advised. Listen carefully for footfalls in the mud.
Hope it's not still stormy when we get there, but it's not like I can change the weather.
All right then.
Ah, we can bond up with Hulkenberg. Okay, let's do that. I mustn't allow things to remain as they are. Alright, let's go talk to Hulkenberg. Let's check the pantry first. Nothing new, okay.
Are you free?
What ought we do today? Whatever the specifics, it would be prudent to use our time to improving our chances and building our strength.
Sorry.
I apologize, but I must ask to be safe training for another time now. Right now, I have some things I'd like to ponder alone. If you need advice, I'm here.
If so,
Would you spare a moment for me then? It is about Rodanthi, the Knight Commander. With the weather improving, shall we take things to the deck? It's stormy, I don't think the weather's getting better. My family found prominence through means beyond the wealthy backed, scholarship mostly, with some having developed a taste for politics. I was the outlier. My single-minded pursuit of martial arts put me quite outside this sphere, and considering my temperament, they had no idea what to do with me.
yes.
My family offered me no meaning worth pursuing, so I volunteered for the Guard when I was still quite young. I thought in the military I could blaze my own trail on strength alone, but well, such ideals were meaningless to House Hulkenberg. Before I had the chance to prove my abilities, they had already made arrangements to assign me to the Knights, ensuring that I would not disgrace the family name. But I was fortunate enough to meet Rodanthi in the course of my training as a new recruit. He was born into a storied rogue household, but his house dissolved, and he joined the military after its decline.
That's why.
We were like it that way, seeking to rise by our own individual efforts regardless of familial background. So what changed him?
The truth is...
After our training concluded, Rodanthi was openly being considered for an appointment to the Prince's Royal Guard. However, instead, it was I, still tender in years, who was ultimately selected. Ah, jealousy. Rodanthi lacked for nothing as a knight. He and I were equals in all things, save that my family had put the right word in the right ears. He was denied appointment to the Royal Guard. Instead, he was sent to the front line, along the common footmen of the state army. I'm sure he was frustrated. He made a name for himself and returned to the order. But to see him rise to the rank of commander in such a short period of time, you respect that?
No.
Rodanthi's current behavior does not befit a knight commander, and it hardly bears saying that we cannot allow such an abuse of power. Even if I am partly responsible for his attachment to power, nay indeed, 'twould be all the more reason to intervene. But I cannot help but wonder whether it's even my place to judge him. Even as I sought to carve my own path, my knighthood only came at my family's behest, and after failing to protect my charge, I left the capital a wanderer. All these lofty words, what weight do they bear from one such as I, a knight errant, and an errand failed in her solemn duty? And still a knight.
Listen. That's right.
I am no knight worth the pride of the order. Once upon a time I thought myself righteous, I respected order, brought many a criminal to justice, and saw many a punishment meted out.
Alas.
Yet looking back, I know it was a matter of convenience, a way to disguise the weakling I was, my knightly standing a replacement for the family I'd forsaken. Of course, in my time as knight, I failed to protect the prince, and abandoned my post to seek him out with no more honor than a thief in the night. I fled my family, and I fled my knighthood. Rodanthi, he sees this in me, clarion clear. Who am I to claim any chivalry over him? You would run again?
So then...
No, I was simply afraid. Afraid to face him. Afraid of facing who I once was. You're friends, you know.
It'll be
Oh.
fine.
We'll all help you through this, no matter what.
You know,
'Tis the way of a broken sword, I suppose. Brute force will avail it nothing, eh? But still.
see.
Why yes, that sword. Perhaps I'd lost sight of something very important indeed. But you've always been there to remind me. I'm truly indebted to you, Kaz. Know that you have my sincerest thanks. Hulkenberg seems like she's realized something. I sense a further deepening of our bond. Okay, nice.
It is finally time I settled. Sorry.
If I may, I'd like some time alone with my thoughts. When I found my answers, let us speak here again. Ooh.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Back on the road.
What to pick?
Okay, no more bonds right now, so we can read some books.
Right. This is...
Sugar and salt. Oh, we should cook as well. I forgot we need to cook. We can make invincible noodles.
Alright.
Is that a dish from Highsmay's home village? I'll go get him. I originate from a town that specialized in the production of grain. Consequently, I am quite confident in its use in all culinary matters. I'm rather adept at making dough from flour as well. I shall let you in on a secret. A good chef always listens to their dough. The dough is ever evolving due to the temperature and humidity of the room. Thus, one must make fine adjustments to the amount of water based on present conditions. I followed Highsmay's lead and began kneading the flour into dough.
Look!
Once the dough has been properly formed, we must put our whole weight into flattening it out completely. This technique ensures the best texture. I trust you to lead us into the fray, but in this task I fear there is none I trust beyond myself.
Alright.
Too much heat will impede the development of his texture. For now we must enlist our eyes and noses as scouts, tasked with alerting us to the proper time to strike. Those noodles, they cook perfectly. The smell alone is mouth-watering.
In days gone by.
Invincible noodles, the taste of my hometown. The aroma invites nostalgia and hunger in equal measure. Yippee. We got some invincible noodles now. Now it's time to hit the books. Julian forced this on me, I'll stick it on the shelf. So I have to read The Future of Magic. It's Julian's treatise on building a sustainable future with magic. He does have a way with words, I haven't started reading it yet. He's obnoxious, but he does know a thing or two, so maybe we'll learn something. It looks like a complicated book, so let's get comfy by the window before we dive in. If I read this book, I may gain more wisdom. Okay. I think it's imagination that I need to progress Stroll's quest. Sustainable magical living? What's he getting at? Anyway, the first chapter is called Thinking About Fuel in the Magical Future. All things considered, our world is still primitive, foolishly relying on wood and fire to warm and feed its people.
Let's see.
This wood we burn makes smoke, and this smoke pollutes the atmosphere and destroys life beyond our cities. Combustible fuels must be prohibited by law. And the void left there is where magic comes in, it says. In other words, he wants to do everything with magic instead of firewood. What do you think? It won't work for everyone.
Right?
I agree, so few can afford igniters. Banning non-magical fires would pose a lot of immediate logistical problems. Gallic and I were on the same page. I feel like I've gained some wisdom.
Alright.
Nice.
Well,
People's lives in the past are important, but so is the future. I think we should treat both with the respect they deserve. There's still more left in this book. I'll pick it up for next time.
I say, we could stop for a break.
Oh, break time, chums. There's something up ahead, so we'll be stopping there.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at a spectacular waterfall northwest of Brylehaven. The Peregrine Falls. The water cascading down from the river between the canyons is among the kingdom's finest vistas. Thanks in part to the monuments carved into rocky cliffs. Is the rumbling echo simply the water plummeting into the basin below? Or the roar of the Mage King?
Mage King? Who's the Mage King? Whoa! That's pretty. What could this be? Yet again, it seems we have found ourselves at the most peculiar of places. Something is just barely visible beyond the waterfall's veil. A statue, perhaps? There must be. They look like faces, but why would anyone go to the trouble of carving something like that behind a waterfall?
Besides,
And aren't their expressions kind of scary? They look intimidating for
I don't
sure.
know.
It must be difficult to carve the rock in a place like this. Just whose face could that be anyway?
Mayhap.
It is perhaps the likeness of some of the old hero kings. I believe a legend involving the Mage King is set within this region. I'd not question it if you told me this was all created with the Mage King's magic. They say he mastered immensely powerful forces, which he used to protect the people.
Just
I cannot help but think what would drive someone to go to such lengths to carve such a terrifying monument upon these stones. As a warning, maybe?
What's that about?
You may be right. For all his power, the Mage King suffered great misfortunes throughout his final years. Perhaps to serve as a warning to those who would follow him. Power closes as many doors as it opens. Regardless of the intent with which you wield it, you may yet become feared and ostracized. It's kind of sad when you think about it. When you put it that way, it almost feels like the roar of the waterfall is meant to represent the Mage King's cries of anguish.
Yes.
If that is indeed true, then we may best honor these sentiments by etching this place within our memory. We may think on it more, but 'tis time return to the Brunner. After contemplating the Mage King's lament, I feel that my wisdom is grown.
All right.
Not quite level 3 yet, but close.
hello.
While the peculiarities of these waterfalls are for debate, their majesty is not. I've made a nice little record of this site. Do take it with you. I'll give this drawing to Maria later. I headed back to the runner, imagining the surprised expressions that would appear on her face when I tell her about this place.
Their destination is the Tomb of Lament, found
Oh no,
north
it's
of
still stormy.
Oceania.
Oh well. Can't really do anything
Interred
about that.
beneath the earth here lie the victims of a terrible epidemic. It is said the lamentations of the lost echo throughout, disfiguring the somber burial ground into a mass grave for criminals and the kinless. The vindictive spirits conjure restless monsters. And it is here that the gauntlet runner comes to an uneasy halt.
Spooky.
Now then,
Well, it's the tomb we've been looking for, is it not? What is our next course of action?
that
We defeat the monster in the back and retrieve the Chalice of Legends. They say there's a ghost in here, but you really think that's it? Thinking back to the Grand Cathedral with Zorba and his profane arts, we witnessed spectres that could easily bear such a label. It is likely, if not certain, that people have simply mistaken the true nature of this monstrosity.
Well,
I can understand why people might wish the dead could return, but let's find this thing and put an end to the rumors.
also.
I've heard of weapons and ancient treasures being buried in these places, but they're probably off the main path.
My thanks.
Cass, we follow your lead. Just a second, I sense something. Oh, is this Neurus' new thing? The feeling is... What's this all of a sudden?
So hey,
It was only for a moment, but I thought I sensed one of the relics Neurus is looking for. Make sure you don't miss any treasure chests, okay? Sweet. Let's pop down a save since we're in a new area. And in we go to the Tomb of Lament.
okay then.
We're exploring this area today, right? Everything ready? Let's go. There's a couple of quests in here. And I'm glad that we can finally get Neurus' relic so we can get the next tier of the Gunner class. It's like Baldur's Gates and shit. Okay.
it'll be all right.
Oh,
Excellent.
all right.
I've grown more powerful.
we one-tapped the Mimic. I was not expecting that to be that easy. Okay, we need to look for like the parts that we can crawl through the walls. Here we go, here's one. I was surprised that Mimic was just like walking
Not bad.
around.
I'm sure you'll find a use for it.
It's a bit unusual, if you ask me. Is that a Guptoros? Huh? Hey, kiddo. Have you been keeping your guard up?
What?
Ah, it's the talking tooth again. Any more good advice, Toothy?
If you guard, enemies won't get an extra action, but shan't kill the weakness. On top of that, status ailments won't bite you either. But you can't dodge attacks when you're guarding. Take it from me, I'm a wisdom tooth. You love it. So good luck and keep your guard up. Not guarding? Why, that's indefensible. Oh my god.